What's going on? We are back for day number 19, and today, guys, I hit a milestone for my merch by Amazon business. So I wanted to just give you guys kind of the updates and the lesson learned. So what is that milestone? And then I'm going to give you the 3 lessons I've learned along the way. Now, this is not a massive milestone to most people with merch, but for me, it is definitely kind of the first milestone that shows like, hey, at least we're doing something right and we're getting some sales. So that milestone is I finally hit 100 t-shirts sold, and we have not had the cancellations. So we're like a clean 100 t-shirts sold on the Merch by Amazon platform. Now, if you guys look at my numbers, I just refreshed them and pulled them up here, but um, we have 107 total sales, and I've had 6 cancellations. So in total, we are finally at 101 t-shirts. So I just wanted to show you guys, like, it's been a fairly long journey for me specifically. So I just want to come across and show you guys, like, look, I'm not an expert. I've gotten extremely slow at this. I think a lot of people now are able to do this in 4 months. And so it's taken me a little bit longer, but you know what, I'm pumped on it, and I just want to share with you guys the 3 things that I think are kind of like the main things that I learned during this process. So number one, I wish that I had known right when I started. So I got started in September. I wish that I had known to really utilize like YouTube and a lot of the other platforms, Facebook groups, and the knowledge that was out there. Because when I first started, guys, in that tier 10, I had no idea what I was doing, didn't know anything about design, didn't know any of the tools, didn't even know how to research, the niches or anything like that. The only knowledge I did have, fortunately, that I think got me through that was that I'd already been somewhat experienced with print on demand and with Amazon's platform from Amazon FBA and private label. And so my number one kind of thing that if I could go back, I would do differently would be to immediately get on YouTube and get in the good Facebook groups. And, it's that whole principle that if people are already succeeding on this platform, which we know there's plenty of them, or at least having mild success, even if it's maybe, an extra $50 a month or $100 a month, for a lot of us, like, that's still significant money. And so I wish I had just gone straight to the source from the get-go, found those people on YouTube and Facebook. And that it took me, I did get there, but it took me till really January. I had a good December, as you guys can see. I got 24 and thought I was like, on to something huge. And I was the first one that was accomplishing this. And of course, realized that it was all a Q4 thing. So it was nothing crazy. So anyway, that is the first tip, guys, is that I would highly recommend get involved in the Facebook groups and get involved in the YouTube space and follow kind of the other influencers in that space. Speaking of which, since I'm on it, we do have a Facebook group where I have a bunch of people that are into merch and also e-commerce. And so there's going to be a link to that down below in the description. So number one, get in front of the influencers and the other people and learn what they're doing and what's working. And that stuff changes all the time. So you want to get in front of them and continue to like absorb as much information as you can. So number two is think long term. And this goes back to just, keeping that motivation there for yourself, because as you guys will see, after my sales dropped off and I hit January, definitely start to lose a little bit of faith. This was kind of a very different experience for me than this was really my first fourth quarter going through e-commerce. So not just with my merch business, but also some of my other like e-commerce businesses on Shopify, and also my private label business, which all were doing great in December and November, obviously, but I didn't realize like how hard I would be hit after that with the decrease in Q1. Now that's a no duh kind of statement for everyone else, but again, it's a learning process. So the point really with what I'm getting at for the second lesson is to think long term. Think about putting assets on merch and using merch and the experience you get there to not just for Amazon or not just for this e-commerce experience, but think about it, over the next 2, 3, 4 years, what the experience you're picking up with your merch business and on Amazon are going to provide for you down the road. So maybe even if, merch doesn't end up being your long-term player, your long-term platform of choice, you're still building that experience on e-commerce. You're building assets, hopefully, with these designs that you can take off of Amazon onto Etsy, Printful, Gear Launch, Redbubble, all these other platforms. And these are your assets, so you guys can use them down the road. And 3, obviously, hopefully building, 3 as in part 2, hopefully building out those systems that you're going to use as well down the road. So for example, example, for me, I've hired, my first graphic designer in this last month over this merch focus period, if you guys have been following it. And so you guys know, like at the beginning of this 30-day cycle here, I had no systems in place. I was just doing random designs. And so I've also kind of created an asset for myself in the sense that I've also started to kind of put the foundation there for a team. And now as we continue to grow this business on and off Amazon, we're going to be able to go and easily, go recruit another designer, go recruit a, product lister or someone that can do even like keyword research and all of that stuff. So lesson 2, think long-term, plan long-term, and that also prevents you from getting discouraged in the short term. And the third and final lesson I've learned selling, 100 shirts on the merch platform is outsource earlier, especially if you're not a designer. I just got my first designer this month. I have a zero design background, and I've been doing all of my designs on my own, which, working a full-time job makes it a little more challenging, but it's for me, it was painstaking to do the designs. I did not really enjoy it. I liked the research side of things. And so, it goes back to that principle, like you don't want to waste your time doing the things you're not very good at. Unless really your mindset is to improve on those things, then of course you want to put the time in. But for me, design is something I'm not necessarily as interested in right now. Right now, I'm focused on the systems and the processes. So that's what I want to actually build up. So whether it's getting a designer or investing in the tools and resources that are out there, things like Merch Informer, Jungle Scout, and even investing your time into researching, again, going back to that first point I made, but researching on YouTube, getting involved in Facebook groups, reaching out to other people that are, at your level, maybe a little bit above, even a little below, and teaching other people, all that stuff helps. And that's, another big thing for me is me having this YouTube channel holds me accountable, and again, also allows me to teach you guys hopefully some of the things that I've learned, which ultimately also makes me better at those things because I have to rethink about them and think about how I can explain them to other people. So I guess that's kind of a bonus tip, but I actually have been loving doing the YouTube videos and connecting with a lot of you guys. So my other recommendation would be I'd love to start seeing people, do their own merch Focus 30 and doing a 30-day challenge for themselves with their merch business or even with other e-commerce businesses. So anyway, that's just an idea. But with that, guys, so again, the 3 tips real quick I've learned are to learn from influencers and people that are already having success, to think long-term, and to invest in your business at an earlier time period. And with that, guys, I'm going to leave you. I hope to see you back here when I've gotten to 500 sales and 1,000 sales, and hopefully that's going to come a lot quicker than this 100 shirt sales came for me. So yeah, again, the Facebook group and the link to all the tools that I've used that have helped me along the way, those are all going to be down below in the description. Of course, smash the like button, the thumbs up, and the subscribe button if you guys got some value out of this. And let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear where you guys are at, how many shirts have you sold, what tier are you at, and any other tips or advice that you guys have gained along this road and this experience. So with that, I will see you for the next video tomorrow.